Hello and welcome. This presentation was created to help transplant recipients and recipient families learn more about the process of writing to their donor's family. If you are listening and considering writing to your donor's family, we hope you find this presentation helpful and your questions answered. Life Center's Family Aftercare Coordinators are here to support you throughout the writing process, and our contact information is provided at the end of this presentation. Before we continue, Life Center wants to thank you for your interest in this presentation. If you are a transplant recipient, we are so happy that you've received the gift that you needed, and we hope you are in a place of continued health and healing. While some of you may have already started writing a letter or are ready and just don't know how, others may be unsure. Wherever you are, it is okay. Writing is a very personal decision. And while some recipients wish to write very quickly following their transplant, others prefer to wait longer. So when is it the appropriate time? The appropriate time is when you are ready, whether that's days, weeks, or years following a transplant. And of course, there are recipients who do not ever wish to write, and those decisions are respected as well. However, if you are ready to write, there are a few important things to keep in mind. First, donation is confidential, and for this reason, Life Center cannot share any information about your donor or your donor's family. But writing allows you to express your condolences and your gratitude to your donor's family, while also providing the opportunity to share information about yourself, which may be comforting for the family. If your donor's family is in a place in their grief journey to write back, you may also learn more about your donor through their letters. So let's talk about what the writing process looks like. So first, you'll write your letter and then mail it to Life Center. Life Center will screen your letter for confidential information, and then the letter is kept on file. At that time, a form will be mailed to your donor's family, letting them know that a recipient has written to them. The family will then let Life Center know if they are in a place to receive a letter. If the family is ready, Life Center will forward on the letter you wrote. If the family is not ready, Life Center will keep the letter on file in case the family is ready at a later time. Again, the writing process is meant to provide all donor families and recipients with the ability to determine their own timelines for writing and receiving correspondence. If you do send a letter and would like to know if your donor's family was in a place to receive it, please reach out to Life Center's Family Aftercare Department a few weeks after mailing your letter, and we can let you know. Please know that the same process takes place if Life Center receives a letter for you from your donor's family. Writing continues through Life Center until both parties express a written interest in meeting or sharing contact information. This is called direct communication and will be explained in more detail later in this presentation. Now that we have provided a brief overview of the writing process, we want to address one question recipients often ask, which is how to get started. The biggest thing to remember is that we encourage you to do whatever is comfortable for you. Some recipients send a card, others handwrite a letter, and then some feel like typing a message on the computer is best for them. All of these forms of writing are absolutely okay. If you are unsure what to write, it is sometimes best to jot down your overall message. What do you want your donor's family to know? If it's gratitude, then start making a list of all the reasons you're thankful to have received the priceless gift. When in doubt, keep the message simple and speak from the heart. And next, we're going to cover what can and cannot be included in your letters. Some of the things that you may include are listed on this slide. While it may seem like you cannot include as much as you may wish to about yourself, try to focus on and elaborate on the things you are able to share. We speak to many donor families, and we've been told that it can be very meaningful to read about the milestones a recipient has experienced after transplant, activities that they've been able to start or resume, and all of those incredible firsts that were only made possible because of their improved health following transplant. And here is a list of some of the things that we encourage recipients not to include, as they are considered identifiable. If you have any questions whether something is able to be included or not as you're writing your letter, please reach out to our Family Aftercare department and we're happy to discuss this further with you. Now that we've explained what personal information can be shared, we wanted to provide a few example questions that may be helpful to ask yourself when sitting down to write your letter. Please know that you do not have to include any of these topics in your letter, and they're just here to assist you if needed. One thing that's really neat is that every letter we receive is so unique, and your message to your donor's family is no different. Here's a picture of Debbie and her son Nick. Debbie is a donor mother who volunteers with Life Center. When asked about hearing from her son's recipients, she shared her perspective. As you can read, it was important for her to know that her son's gifts helped others, enhanced their lives, and allowed them to continue living fulfilling lives with their families. Before we cover where to send your letter, we wanted to provide a few final thoughts. First, it is appropriate to acknowledge the family's loss in your letter. Also, please keep in mind that the faith and beliefs of the donor family are unknown. If you are unsure what to write but would like to write something to your donor's family, consider purchasing a greeting card and signing your first name. Ask a friend or family to read your letter if you have questions about how it sounds, as they know you and your story. And lastly, what you say and how you say it are not nearly as important as the sentiment behind your intention. Life Center Family Aftercare Department is here to support you through the writing process, so please do not hesitate to contact us. Once you're ready to send your card or letter, you can mail it to Life Center at the address listed here. Typed letters may be emailed to our Aftercare Department at the email address provided. With all correspondence, we ask that you enclose a Post-it, a piece of scrap paper, or a note card that has your full name, the date of your transplant, and the hospital where you received your transplant. This information will not be mailed to your donor's family, but it helps our aftercare department in knowing who the letter is from, so the appropriate donor family can be notified of your correspondence. Once your letter is mailed, the next question we often get is, will I hear back? We get this question often, and the honest answer is, we don't know. Grief is unique, and the situation that surrounds the loss of a family's loved one varies greatly. We can share that just like recipients, some donor families write back quickly, others take a little longer, and some may never be at a place to write. One thing that we have found is that there are many donor families that even if they aren't at a place to write back, they do welcome the letters from their loved ones' recipients. So we encourage you to write even if you don't hear back. Sometimes the act of writing out your thoughts can also be therapeutic. We would be remiss if we did not address this question. Am I able to meet my donor's family? This depends on a few things. The writing process continues through Life Center until both parties express a mutual desire to communicate directly. This means that direct communication only takes place when a donor's family and recipient have written back and forth a few times, and both parties have expressed in their letters their desire to meet, exchange contact information, or share social media account names. If this occurs, Life Center's Family Aftercare Department will help guide you through the process of having direct communication. So whether that's your hope or not, the first step to connecting with your donor's family is through writing. And here's one last heartfelt message from an anonymous donor mother to a recipient. To a recipient, I would say, don't worry about finding the right words. The only wrong thing that you could say is nothing. Our grief is real. No words you can write will make it worse. They can only make it better. Speak from the heart. We only wish to know that you are better, that your life has improved, and that you are doing things you couldn't do before. Those are the words that give us comfort. Thank you again for listening and wanting to learn more about the writing process. If you have specific questions now or at any time, please contact our Family Aftercare Department by phone or email. We feel privileged to be a part of your journey of writing to your donor's family. Thank you.